Good evening. It's a Friday evening, April 4th, 2025. It is exactly 7:05 p.m. We are recording our state board prep for aesthetics. This is your state board prep 2 study guide, number 2. And we are going over questions 50 through 75. Let's prepare to go ahead and share our screens. And this is State Board Prep 2, facials, advanced topics, and skin analysis. Okay, facials, advanced topics, and skin analysis. So let's prepare. And we stopped off at number 50. We stopped off at 50. And this week we've been going over 2. Next week we'll go over 3. And then we'll jump back in. And we'll also pick up some state board prep for Mississippi as well. Hence, we got some students who will be testing in Mississippi. All right. All right. So number 50, it says the correct order of final steps in applying a cleanser during a facial are A, cheeks, nose, forehead, B, forehead, nose, cheeks, or C, neck, forehead, nose, or is it D, forehead, nose, neck? The answer is going to be A. Okay, you'll find this in chapter 8 under your facial treatment procedures. Okay, that the correct order of facial steps in applying cleanser during a facial is going to be cheeks, nose, forehead. Cheeks, nose, forehead. Okay, 51. The steamer should be blank from the client, okay? 4 to 6 inches away, 6 to 8 inches away, 10 to 15 inches away, or about 18 inches away, okay? So the steamer should be D, about 18 inches away from the client. That is most of the time equivalent to your elbow, okay? Your elbow to your hand from the client. 52. After extractions are performed, the next step is a steaming, massage, applying a mask, or applying the toner. Okay. All right. So after extractions are performed, technically the next step is massage. Okay. So we're looking at steps, massage. Many people will probably say toner, but toner is that balancer throughout most of your procedure. And so step of the facial, you're going to look at massage. Why massage? It is going to calm and relax the skin because extractions can sometimes be, make the client a little uncomfortable, and we want to make sure we don't do that. So 52 is going to be massage. 53, what general rule? 53, what general rule should be followed when using the comedone extractor? All right. So when we look at 53 and we talk about general rule, the comedone extractor, I need you to know what comedone is. Okay. So we're talking about blackhead or whitehead, whether it's closed or open. It is the comedone extractor. All right. So 53. It says, what general rule should be followed when using the comedone extractor? Is it A, use as much pressure as possible? B, make sure the lesion is outside the loop of the extractor? C, press gently when extracting? Or D, work quietly? Okay. With those comedone extractors, what you want to do is C, press gently when extracting. Remember, the steam has already softened the skin, and whatever was inside of the whatever's inside of that pore / follicle, it pushes it up. The heat draws it to the surface. So the only thing you should have to do is gently press. Okay, gently press. All right. And so 53 is going to be C. 54. Oh, one rule of thumb with 53 and the comedone extractor, we're going to gently press. You are not going to put a lot of pressure on these areas because you do not want to bruise the client or cause the client in discomfort. Okay. Don't want to do that. 54. What do the terms superficial peeling, exfoliation, keratolysis, desquamation, dequamation refer to? 54, it refers to A, removal of dead skin cells, okay? Because we say superficial peeling, exfoliation, removal of dead skin cells, keratolysis, okay? And whenever you see keratolysis, it in lines with other references of thickening of the skin. And so here we are with removal of dead skin cells. So 54 is going to be A. Okay. 55. 55, 55. And as you guys are coming in, make sure you're clicking on home base and put your name in the chat. We are on number 55. We're going to 75 tonight. And we're closing out State Board Prep number 2. 55, it says during a chemical exfoliation, it would not be normal to use Jessner's peel, microdermabrasion, AHA, or enzymes. All right. During a chemical exfoliation, we are talking about basically an acid peel or chemical peel. Okay. It would not be normal to use B, microdermabrasion. All right. Because during the microdermabrasion, you're going deeply over the skin and it feels like almost a lawnmower. You're pulling those dead skin cells up, but you're also creating this roughness with the skin on the out so you can pull it up. It defeats the purpose of the acid peel or chemical exfoliation because it starts to soften the skin. So now you have the skin layers being broken down with the acid peel, and then you have something rough going across it. You can cause irritation, bruising, and discomfort to the client. And you don't want to create any cuts or lesions or open sores, okay? So 55 is going to be B. Now, you can say, Ms. Cox, I have seen people who do enzymes and microdermabrasion. Okay. Yes, I have seen clients get double. Okay. They've got two forms of exfoliation. They've gotten mechanical and then they also have gotten the enzymes. Remember, enzymes are not as strong on the skin. They're not as, they don't go as deep, and a lot of time enzymes are surface level. Okay, so we're dealing with still on the surface. We hadn't gone down to different levels of the skin. So yes, in cases you have seen enzymes and microdermabrasion, but this question is asking about chemical exfoliation, and in the category of chemical exfoliation, you have acid peels / chemical peels. All right, and so technically you would not be doing a microdermabrasion. And y'all, if you did a microdermabrasion first, then went back with the chemical peel, that client's skin will be on fire because of the irritation, fire. Okay. And we don't want to have that discomfort or unprofessional claim attached to your business. 56, what is true of the pH of human skin? All right. So we look at the pH of human skin. 56, we have alkaline. Let's see what the other ones are. Acidic with some skin types, alkaline in others. The human skin, is it acidic by itself or is it neutral? Now, this is one thing I want you to remember, and I want you to remember Ms. Kasha drove this to you. When you look at the pH scale, all right, goes all the way up to 14. 7 is neutral. Everything on the left side of 7 is acid. Everything on the right side of 7 going up is going to be alkaline. All right. The further the number is away from 7, the stronger it becomes. Hair, skin, and nails is a 4.5 to 5.5 on the pH scale. So when it asks, what is true of the pH of human skin? It is going to be acidic, C, because 4.5 to 5.5 is found on the acid side of the pH scale. All right. So number 56, you're always going to see that question. No matter how many years I've been in the beauty industry, I always see the question, where's hair, skin, and nails on a pH scale? What does pH scale mean? What does, something 3 versus something 8, something 8, what does that mean? And so you're always going to see pH because we're dealing with products, we're dealing with ingredients, we're dealing with people. Okay. And so we got to um, be able to balance and match pH scales when it comes to products, ingredients. This is sometimes why there's preservatives in some of your products and ingredients to keep those things balanced. But number 56, that answer is C. Okay. I see you guys coming on. I'm going to finish this page and I'll start you guys at 65. Okay. I'll start you at 65. So let's look at 57. What type of peel would not typically be used by an esthetician? You're like, estheticians are experts. So what type of peel would not typically be used by an esthetician? It's not typically, okay? That's your key. An enzyme peel, a peel with the strong TCA concentrations, a lactic acid peel, or a glycolic acid peel. This is something estheticians don't really put their hands in. Okay, so let's break it down. An enzyme peel is readily available. Okay, this one you got a company named Skin Scripts. They deal with peels. A lot of times I would tell clients microdermabrasion and enzyme before even going to a chemical peel, you may get the result you're looking for. A peel with strong TCA concentrations. All right. A lot of times those are outside the scope of your practice. So you refer them out to a physician, a dermatologist. And then you have a lactic acid peel. It's one of the safest peels you can use. It has a milk base, which is, you learn about what milk does to the skin, very softening, helps even out complexion and things of that nature. Then you have a glycolic acid peel. It is on average the most popular peel used in most states, and most states reference the estheticians at least no more than a 30%. Okay, 30% glycolic. A lot of times, glycolic is the first type of peel that individuals use. The answer to number 57 that
It's
most
B.
do not use, what do you think it is?
B.
You're absolutely right. B. TCA is a very strong peel. And when you have people, individuals who are saying, hey, they're using it in their spas, this peel is probably going to way above and beyond the 30% that the state allows, up to 30% that the state allows. Okay. So of course you're gonna see some peeling, but it's a lot of contraindications come up when using these type of pills. So this is why it's out of your scope of practice and you should refer them to a physician. And in this case, a skin physician is going to be a dermatologist. Okay. 58. After a chemical peel, estheticians should tell clients to avoid blank for at least 24 hours. Irritants such as sunscreen, sun exposure, showering, or exercise. Okay. All right. After a chemical peel, estheticians should tell your clients to avoid blank for at least 24 hours. It is going to be sun exposure. Okay. Your skin has gone through a very intense stage of softening and beginning to peel. And we're just at a real rare state. We shouldn't even be touching our skin. Okay. Well, it is still very, very sensitive. And then you going outside, getting in the sun, or you sunbathing, or you're tanning. It's gonna cause the skin to burn, and the new skin that's come up is gonna come up prematurely burned. And then you have to get rid of that. And sometimes those burn areas could sometimes be permanent or take up to 6 to 9 months to be removed, or to go through a phase of new skin, depending on how old they are. The younger they are, the skin is going to turn over faster. But the older they are, their skin turns over slower. So 58 is going to be B. You're not going to get a chemical peel and go out and sit in the sun. 59. How often should the most gentle enzyme peels be repeated? I mean gentle. Okay. And if you are familiar with skin scripts, one of the most gentle ones is pineapple. I absolutely love the pineapple and I mix it with the mask. So 59 is going to be, I mix it with yogurt mask. 59 is going to be B, once a week. You can do the gentle enzymes up to once a week. And if you're doing that, it's removing dead skin cells more rapidly than just your cleanser. And you may not need to go up to stronger things like chemical peels. It may take care of exactly what you needed to take care of. This is why I tell individuals, if the manual scrub is not doing it for you, go to microdermabrasion. If microdermabrasion is not doing it for you, go to enzyme. Okay, that's not working. You do enzyme and microdermabrasion together. And after you have tried all of these, then I would then consider a chemical peel. And that's just me. And also, you guys have to make your professional opinion based on the client that you have in front of you and what you know, and plus the product knowledge as well. 60. What is good advice for estheticians who do not have much experience with enzyme peels? Now, if you are going to, and I think we mentioned this, May, I want to really take my DCI Academy students to Dallas for the International Congress of Estheticians, or I think it's Aesthetics Association. Because you guys haven't been anywhere, but I definitely want to take you guys. I knew it when I went last year. I wanted to take you guys, but you're going to be exposed to many different companies, and some of those companies have really good education. And one of those is Skin Scripts, where they're gonna feed you education, but at the same time, they do have these individuals, these artists that you can kind of talk to and just kind of shop and build your own cabinet of products. You don't have to, it's the time is gone where you have to buy so much to get it into your salons and spas. You can buy small pieces and build it up. So I encourage you, if you're going to Dallas, do a good, like, hey, I'm here to learn about product and what is good for me to start with, and how much do I need to purchase? And even if it's just creating accounts, it is worth the trip because you're starting at the bottom of getting your business structure together, okay, professionally. So 50, it says 58. We did that. We're on number 60, right? So it says, what is good advice for estheticians who do not have much experience with enzyme peels? Is that be prepared to remove the peel earlier than the manufacturer's recommendations. And here's the thing. A lot of times we miscalculate and we feel like the product is not doing what we need it to do. When it's not doing what you need it to do because you're not patient and you don't understand. So a lot of times people will take it off early just so they don't feel like they messed up. They know that more time may cause more damage. And so what I need you guys to know is have that confidence and understand the product that you're using. That's why you don't want to probably buy any product that doesn't have education attached to it. But understand the product that you're using, and so you'll understand how it works and the time. So that's even with clients with hair color, with any kind of chemicals. People are so scared of the over processing or what it may do. Well, if you understood that before you started, you will understand how time is going to be one of your key things. And so be prepared to remove the peel earlier than your manufacturer's recommendations. I come back to that. Be prepared to leave the peel on a little bit longer than usual to ensure it is working. And then always leave the peel on at least as long as the manufacturer's recommended minimum removal time, or only perform spot removal in an emergency. So this one, I don't want you to think about your client. All right. I want you to think manufacturer wise. All right. I don't want you to think your client. I want you to think manufacturer wise I want you to think logical and stay within your scope of practice. Number 60, the answer is B. Be prepared to leave the pill on just a little bit longer than usual to ensure it is working. Now, chemical pills can be very, very expensive. A small jar can maybe get you 10 people, but that jar is going to cost you maybe 135 to be realistic for most pill companies. Minimum. It may cost you 135 just for that one. Okay. And just say you get 10 users out of it. Well, you got to make your money back. But if you're uneducated about the product, you're just kind of skeptical and you're just like, I'm putting it on and then I'm taking it off, you're not really getting the full value of the product. You're just going through the motions and you're wasting product. Okay. So understand the product and then be able to say, okay, what's the timetable that, that this thing really clicks on and we really got some stuff working. When you hit that timetable, education based, it may say go another 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. I always want to tell you if the client is not prepped, I don't care what the book says, if the client is not prepped, their skin is not prepared for the chemical peel, and you see all these other contraindications, the client is not going to be able to withstand the time. Okay. The client is not going to be able to withstand the time. You cannot force something to stay on the client when their skin is sensating. And that's the key word that we use other than burning. All right. And it's obvious. You don't want to cause any flesh wounds. You don't want to cause any burns that could go deeper. And you got to remember, you're going deeper into different layers of the skin. So you don't want to cause burns in those deeper levels. That means you're going to have that bruising there for a very long time. Okay. And so 60 is B. And we have to think technical. Okay. But at the same time, please make sure you prep the client's skin, that they follow your directions before. There's no sweating. You don't want to have them drinking caffeine, no tea, no Coke, no Pepsi. All of that wellness is going to be amazing. It's going to be great prep for the chemical peel. And some people may say, well, Ms. Cox, what if they do? Well, caffeine is an agitator and it could cause itching once you get the chemical on, just like with relaxers or permanent waves, jerry curls, whatever. Anytime that chemical get on and you have that caffeine, whatever comes in, gotta go out. It could irritate the top layer of the skin. So it could come out the follicles and just sit there with oil and sweat. As soon as the chemical peel get the softening, get the working, now you got some itchiness, and it could really irritate the client, and they would confuse it with burning, but it could be itching, and they will want it off, and so waste the product and waste the work. Okay, 61. What AHA penetrates the epidermis most effectively? AHA. Can someone tell me what AHA stands for? AHA.
Alpha
Alpha hydroxy
hydroxy acid.
acids. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Alpha hydroxy acids. We got polyhydroxy acids and we got beta hydroxy acids. For right now, we're talking about AHA. They penetrate the epidermis most effectively. Which one penetrates the epidermis most effectively? And 61, we got lactic acid. Hold on one moment.
You scared me. Waiting on you. You scared me. How you doing? All right. What you got to drink? You got a bottle of water? Hold on, I think so. Let your husband know you give me some water. I know this ain't my house. Let your man know. Huh? Let your man know you give me some water. This ain't my house. Well, what you say? I just think I'm busy.
Okay, sorry guys. All right, so we are back at 61. We're back at 61, and it says what AHA, thank you guys for your patience, penetrates the epidermis most effectively. And 61 is going to be C, glycolic. Okay. It's going to penetrate most effectively. And I want you to take a moment and kind of screenshot lactic, citric, glycolic, tartaric. Um, these are different acid pills, and you use them for different things that's going on with the client's skin. All right. But always remember lactic, lactose. All right. And so it's really one of those calming things down type of peel. And when individuals have sensitive skin, you will mostly gravitate towards lactic acid first to see how well they do. And if they, have, after about 5 minutes, they have if they don't make the whole 10, you still could use it, but you have a small window to use it. And if they can't take lactic, they're not going to be able to really take anything else. Okay. So 61 is going to be glycolic. And I love a glycolic needle. 62, what treatment would be ideal for a client whose skin is aging? All right. So aging skin, TCA, AHA, Jasner pills, or BHA. Yes, we treat clients with aging skin. Okay. But ideal is going to be TCA. So it's going to be 62A. Remember earlier, it's at those higher concentrations of TCA we're not able to do. But TCA in the lower forms, we are able to service. And really, when you get into TCA, you have somebody that's really dealing with some acne, a real obvious acne issue, not just like breakout hair or seasonal change or anything of that nature. And when you're at that level, you basically said AAH can't do nothing for us. Definitely BHA. Then BHA is salicylic acid. It may do enough, but you may still say, hey, you need to go see a dermatologist. Okay. And so, yeah, we have percentages, we have things we can do, but at the end of the day, once it gets at a certain point and they're expecting a miracle or something they've seen on Instagram, we don't know exactly what pill that was, that we're not able to service them. Okay. So 62 is A. 63, microdermabrasion would be a good choice for clients with inflamed acne. Inflamed, you got redness, you got pain, probably sensitive to touch. Clients who are prone to hyperpigmentation, clients who are prone to dark spots, clients who are wrinkled, and clients who have fragile skin, and that's thin or sensitive skin. So it says microdermabrasion would be a good choice for clients who are prone to be hyperpigmented. Okay. When you are removing the dead skin cells, that machine goes across mimicking a lawnmower. Okay. A lot of the times, the dead skin cells, they pile up and it gives you the illusion of dark spots. And then sometimes we just need the top layer cleared off so the treatment product can dissolve our dark spots. So the microdermabrasion, a good choice, would be for hyperpigmentation. So B. 64, photodynamic therapy. Okay. It's usually used for, and make sure you haven't heard photodynamic, make sure we underline it. Photodynamic therapy is usually used for spider veins, actinic keratosis, hair removal, or hyperpigmentation. Okay. 64 is going to be B. Okay. Acidic keratosis. All right. Photodynamic therapy is going to be for B. And remember, when you see keratosis, keratolysis, things of that nature, you are talking about thickening of the skin or removing of the thickening of the skin. So in dealing with these, you're going to have a softer skin texture, a refined skin texture afterwards. Okay. Let's look at 65. Who do we have on? All right. Amber 65, Dallas 66, Jemiah 67, so on, so on, and so on. And you guys will do this page and then I'll follow back up. Okay. 65. Light therapy does not typically use what part of the spectrum?
It's gonna be it's gonna be A, ultraviolet.
You are absolutely right. Light therapy does not typically use that part of the spectrum. Okay. Light therapy will usually using some solid colors or combination, but most of the time, some of the popular light therapy is going to be red and blue. Okay. Also, we have yellow, green, orange. And so we're not just bleeding everything together. 66. We got 66. What color LED helps with detoxification? We're trying to clear these clogged pores. 66.
It's green.
It's going to be a yellow.
Oh.
Okay, a yellow. So that take a note. Yellow is going to help clog the pore, unclog the pores. Okay, detox the skin. 67. Anesthetics. Now, let's go blue, kills bacteria, great for acne. Red is going to tighten the skin, great for anti-aging. It helps with wrinkles. And then green, you have improving some skin texture. All right. So 66 is going to be a 67. Jemiah. Anesthetics. Ultrasound is usually used for hair removal, cellulite reduction, muscle stimulation, or pain reduction.
I'm gonna say B.
B is correct. Cellulite reduction. Okay. It helps get rid of those lumps and bumps, break it down. And also, it may incorporate heat. And so they'll break down that fat as well. 68, Amber. 69, Dallas. And 70, Jemiah. 68. What should clients be instructed to do after detoxifying body treatments? What should clients be instructed to do after detoxifying body treatments?
They should avoid detoxifying body treatment.
Is it avoid sunlight, avoid strenuous physical activity, drink a lot of water, or fast?
They should avoid physical activity, I think.
They should. 68 is C. You'll find this under spa treatments, chapter 8, spa treatments. It says, what should clients be instructed to do after detoxifying the body treatments? We'll pull the lot out. They want you to drink a lot of water. Okay. So 68 is C. And I know sometimes when we do body wraps, they tell you don't sit in the tub, so it's kind of contradicting what we've heard before, but as following the text, it's 68 is C.
Okay.
69, Jemiah. The treatment that uses a vacuum massage to treat cellulite is called endermology, balneotherapy, reflexology, or stone massage. Take a guess at
a vacuum. Would it be A?
Yes. Anytime you hear or you see endermology, think of cellulite. Okay. And think of and the reason we do that, it just helps rid and soften the fat cells to eliminate cellulite. So 69 is 8. 70. Back at Amber.
Dallas. You keep skipping me, I think.
It's Amber, Dallas, then Jemiah. Jemiah just
I thought.
Yeah, you had gave me 70 at first. You did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who go is? I'm sorry. Is it Dallas? Come on, Dallas.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dallas.
What is the primary cause of cellulite and overhydrated epidermis?
70. Hold on, y'all. The dog is busy. All right, back at number 70. 70, it says, what is the primary cause of cellulite? A low fiber diet, mental and emotional stress, an overly hydrated epidermis, or female hormones and genetics. 70, reading the question, what is the primary cause of cellulite? We need to know what cellulite is. It's fat pockets, okay? That answer is going to be D, female hormones and genetics.
So females on somebody gets cellulite?
Well, it says female hormones and genetics. So if a male has it, it may have just run in the family.
Oh, okay.
And you said C, overly hydrated epidermis. Think about that. That's that top layer of skin. It didn't say underhydrated. That will make it dry. Overly hydrated, that just rid a whole lot of moisturized skin.
Right.
Yeah, so, and that skin does not have anything to do with the pockets found underneath the skin. And so it is 70 is D, female hormones and genetics. Okay. 71, who wants to take it? Amber or Jemiah?
I'll do it.
Okay, Amber. Before and after surgery, swelling may be reduced with reflexology, manual lymph drainage, endermology, or body wraps. And we know when we see endermology, think of what?
Drainage.
Endermology, number 69. Who had number 69? Yeah. So it's not C.
Okay.
Before and after surgery, swelling may be reduced with, and it's very popular because people go get the BBL, they go get all kind of
body wrap.
What do they need to do after Dallas is an expert at this because this is what she does. When they go get the BBLs or they go get the tummy tucks and stuff like that, what do they have to have afterwards? What type of massage?
The fatty massage drainage.
Yeah, lymphatic drainage. They got to get that fluid off, that swelling, get it down. And so before and after surgery, swelling may be reduced with B, manual lymph drainage. Okay. Now, when we're doing a back treatment, we can't do massaging, but we can take those hot stones, and I want you to take one hot stone in each hand and roll it down their sides. That hot stone is pushing, stuff that may be sitting in the love handles. Okay. It may be food, waste, fluid, whatever. It pushes it down. And when they get up, they got to go to the bathroom. And so think about when someone gets a manual lymph drainage or a lymphatic massage, guess what where you can do this massage for estheticians? You can do it on the face. You can't do it nowhere else, but you can do it on the face. And so if it eliminates fluid and waste from the sides, guess what it can do? This is also where they call it contour massage. You're giving some shape to the face. You're trying to eliminate the roundness in the face, eliminate the swelling. And so what they're simply doing is doing a lymphatic drainage. And they may use different tools to help with the massage. I have a friend in Mississippi, Columbia, Mississippi. His name is Terrence Bonner, Bonner. Y'all look him up. Terrence Bonner, Bonner. And I think he calls it the Bonner Institute, not Brunner, but Bonner, Bonner. And one of the top classes that he teaches is lymphatic drainage for the face. So he takes the same tools that you will eliminate, cellulite, the wood tools for the body, and he takes the same tools, a smaller size, and use them for the face. And literally help contour a facial shape by eliminating fluid and roundness and things. People they get married, they want to do some things. Yes, it's temporary, but it is a lot of times you're working and creating services based on someone's budget. Someone may not be able to go get skin tightening or a facelift, but they can get the lymphatic drainage and toning, massages, and you guys can do anything on the face when it comes to massage. So that's another menu option. And hey, you're looking at someone, it's like, man, you just like you're a little swollen. You can get it done too. You can do the lymphatic drainage on the face. 72, we're gonna let Jemiah close that one. What is not true of manual lymph drainage? It reduces cellulite. It says not true. Okay, it reduces cellulite. It typically requires advanced training or licensing. It involves the use of machines, or it works well in conjunction with facials. Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with C.
Okay. Not true is A. It does not, remember, it moves swelling and fluid. It pushes it in areas into organs that it breaks down in urine and you push out. And so what is not true of manual lymph drainage, it reduces cellulite. So it does not reduce cellulite. Okay.
But I'm sorry. Would the machine would not be correct as well though? Because I've had lymphatic machine drainage and they didn't require machines.
Well, it just depends on who did it and training, and what's popular in one area versus popular in another. I have seen machines. And when I talk about machines, they have a machine that shakes the body. Prior, they have machines that press. So anything the hand can do, they have a machine to mock.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Like vacuum therapy can be
right.
Lymphatic drainage.
Yes. And so because it's pulls. And so anything the hands can do, they do have a machine to do it. This is why it's good when you're in a training place to say, hey, where are you from? If you're from the West Coast, you guess where I'm gonna be in that person from the West Coast face all night. Because I want to know what y'all doing in California that I ain't doing in Memphis, so I can learn it and bring it back. So that's what manual lymph drainage is. It does not reduce cellulite. And I can see it not breaking down the fat tissue. Okay. Heat and other forms, ultrasound, something that's gonna break down, light therapy, that's gonna break down those fat pockets. So that is going to reduce your cellulite. And believe it or not, manual scrub, coffee. There's a component in coffee that helps break it down from the external side, helps even the skin tone. And some people will notice, like, yeah, coffee scrubs. If you go to Florida, there's a show called Premier Orlando. There's a company that comes in like from Brazil, and they really are. I feel like they brought a lot of body training when it comes to post surgery massage. They brought a lot of that training over to the United States, and they have these. It's like a product, you freeze it, you put it in the freezer, and it's like cryotherapy. When you take it out, you just rub this and massage this all over the client. And what it does, it freezes, the person becomes really cold, and it freezes this person's fat cells. Okay. And as it's freezing this person's fat cells, it is really breaking it down and turning it into urine. And the person urinates that fat out. And those treatments could be sometimes 150 a treatment, and most people buy 2-3 at a time. And so it's an expensive treatment. They have machines that do that as well. Have you guys seen that the people will lay on the bed, cut the machine on? Of course, they have to monitor your blood pressure as well. But they take the cryotherapy, the cold, like a cold sheet of paper, like a napkin, and they put it over that area where most of the fat at, and then they put the suction machine on top of it. Okay, and that area just freezes those fat cells, and over a period of time, the person loses weight because those fat cells generally they're going straight down to the kidneys, liver and kidneys. They're going straight down, and they're urinating those fat cells out. Yeah, I mean, machinery, it's a machine that does everything. One thing we need to do as far as on the body, it does not, that's not in our scope of practice. Okay. So if anybody's doing it, they're doing it at their own risk, but it's not in our scope of practice. I've had estheticians, instructors who had a big business in doing it, and somebody called in. I know, I really think the massage school were jealous, but the massage school called in and reported her, and she had to either go to massage school, get licensed as a massage therapist to continue doing the service, or stop doing the service altogether. And then I got a call from the massage school. Somebody was really hating, but I got a call from the massage school asking, could I just teach them facials? It's like, no, you don't want her doing your services. We don't want you doing our services either. But
Right.
it was crazy. So you do have to make sure, you're working on the referrals, people that know you, and then you're garnering, staying under your scope of practice. Okay. 73. I got it. Back pain may be relieved in some cases with, look at 73. Okay. Back pain may be relieved in some cases. And I always mess this first word up, but is blepharoplasty, rhinoplasty, mammoplasty, scoliotherapy. Okay. Um, we reference scoliosis, and we think about back pain, spinal area. Um, when you think of mammogram, mammoplasty, they're throwing something in there. Surgery related to the breast, rhinoplasty, surgery related to the nose, and let me look up the other one. So if we got all those definitions, I want to make sure you know. Okay, so surgical procedures related to the eyelids. So A is a surgical procedure related to the eyelids, related to the nose for B, related to the breast for C, related to the neck and back, spinal area for D. Okay, so back pain may be relieved in some cases with. Okay, back pain, and also in women. So it didn't say in women, but when we look at majority back pain, D is going to incorporate nerves as well, but our book is going to tell us mammoplasty. Anybody know somebody that's had a breast reduction because of back pain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So 73, and just assuming that it's women, the book just assumes it's women, y'all. So we got to think a little bit more. So 73 says back pain may be relieved in some cases with a breast surgery. All right. And we have seen that in cases where individuals who were heavy chested would get something removed or reduced, and then their backs will feel better. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, I was helping a nurse yesterday, turning and getting, my mom together. And when I tell you, I lifted up and I was like, whoa, I don't know where that came from, but I felt pain in my back for the first time in a long time. And I was like, ooh, yeah, this is You have to be strong. You have to have some gear. That's why they wear the trainers stuff around their backs, just to protect their backs. 74. What would be unusual for the client to experience during a light glycolic pill? A light glycolic pill. And let me tell you, um, glycolic pills, normally you would start at like a 10, and then you'll go up to 20, or you would go from a 10 to a 30. That's normally how people go, 10 to a 30, and 30 being the strongest. Okay. So you would ease your way up. So light pill will be a 10. Moderate or thermia, tingling, itchiness, or a spotty appearance. What would be unusual for a client to experience during a light glycolic pill? 74 is going to be A. They should not be hot. When you see the therma, they should not be hot. And it says moderate. So a light pill, a client should not be burning. It really falls into more sensitized skin. It's just, you just look, before I do the big pill, I got to do this one to see how well you react. And so A, moderate, thema, you should not be feeling heat. Okay. So 74 is A. 75, when using crystal-free microdermabrasion, the most common application technique involves blank passes. We talk about how many times are we going over the skin in a particular area, horizontal, or how we're going over the skin, vertical, diagonal, or cross hatching. Okay, cross hatching, which means 75, the answer is D. So which means we're going one way in one direction on the first pass. On the second pass, we're going the opposite way. Okay. And in some cases, we may also go up, down, like a zigzag triangle. Just in those cases, maybe mostly on the forehead area. Okay. Cross hatching. We're not going one way the whole time. We're going one way for one pass, and then we're crossing it over and going the other direction to make sure we get all the areas of the face. We just don't want to get just all vertical or all horizontal. We want to make sure that we cross hatch and we get every piece of the face. So 75 is D. Okay. I am going to drop a State Board Prep 3. And what would you guys, do you want another one of these? Or see what I need to include? Because I know we're going through that State Board Prep. So we want to be intentional about what we're studying. I don't, for my Mississippi people, I will pick up some Mississippi. Pretty much they're doing the same thing. The same thing, they just have more of it. Okay. Okay, so we did infection control, analysis. Do you want makeup, hair removal, and more skincare? Let's do skincare, makeup, and hair removal for the third one, okay?
Okay.
And we'll do about 75 questions. And the last will be state board prep. That gives me time to create a state board exam. Okay. And we'll review those areas. So next week, we're going to do more skincare, more makeup. We're going to intro into the makeup and hair removal. So we'll have mostly our questions coming from those areas. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Y'all have a blessed and amazing evening. Clock out when you're supposed to clock out. Thank y'all for coming on later. I got some work to do tonight. So if you need anything, just give me a call. All right. Y'all be blessed. I'm going to stop share. And this will be this review. It was recorded on YouTube. And so if anybody needed